What is going on, guys? I'm late. I know. I'm 9 minutes late, but I'm here. Who all's here? Have I got anybody here? I think Mr. Rob texted me not too long ago, so I'm kind of expecting Mr. Rob on. But I know, guys. But I got to tell you something. I'm not alone. I'm looking around near my feet because there's a beastly thing. Look at this thing, guys. Look at this thing. This thing's a killer right here. A killer. You don't want any of this. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Joffrey? My daughter's fixing to come up here in just a minute. She's supposed to be in bed.
Whoopsie.
There she is. See, Daddy is all by himself tonight, which is why I'm late. Krista went out on a girls' night, and I got this puppy going on. We had family. I know, Andrew, what's going on? Guys, this is Millie. This is our new puppy, our new little beagle puppy.
Say hi, Millie.
And she's a handful. She is a handful.
She is.
So, yeah, go ahead and take her, baby.
Okay.
Remember, 2 hands.
Okay.
Okay, and you need to get to bed.
Okay.
All right?
I'm going to take her to bed with me.
Okay. Hey, no. Don't take her to bed with you. So, yeah, I'm alone. Mr. Rob, what's going on, dude? And I haven't had a chance to catch my breath yet.
Good night.
Haley says good night. Checking for ticks. Yeah. Fortunately, we don't have very many ticks around my area. So, yeah, that dog. 3 months? No, we're talking like 2 months, like 8 weeks. So we just got her. She was about 7 months. Byron, what's going on? Good to have you. And she's peeing everywhere, and she's chewing on everything. And we have recliners in our couch, and we can't even have the recliners up because she'll get inside the couch, and we're scared that we're not going to be able to get her out without like tearing our couch apart. Which I don't know how much you guys probably haven't seen, but I've got this giant sectional couch. Like, it's huge. Like, it seats like 12 people. It's huge. And I know, isn't she? She's totally cute, and it's a good thing because she's a holy terror. She's a holy terror. Like, sleepless nights. It's just like having a newborn baby. Everything off the bottom shelf. That's exactly right. We had to take the plants off the floor because she would be chewing on the plants and getting into the dirt and books. She wants to chew on books. Fortunately, don't tell her. She hasn't chewed on the furniture yet. But she chews on everything else. Like, she chews on everything else. You can't hold her in your arms because she lunges, and she bites my beard. She bites my beard, like, and she pulls on it like I'm some sort of fake Santa or something. So I'm alone with her and with the kids, and also we had on Sunday nights. What we started doing family dinner night. That's like a classic American tradition, right? To have like a family dinner. By the way, Jack, my current dog, he can't stand the puppy. Can't stand her. And he's about 13 years old. And this puppy is like, everywhere he turns, he's getting in front of him, and like lunging at him, and he just can't stand her. And there's a part of me that's like, I know, dude. I know. Yep. I know. Ben and Karen, they're waiting for their new lab. So it's born, and man, they're excited because you guys know how much they love dogs, particularly labs. Hey, you guys want to see my other dog? Hey, Cracker Jack. Oh, Jack, come here. Oh, you simmer down, dude. Simmer down. Oh. This is Jack. He is a Chihuahua, but he's also got another little mix inside of him. I don't know what else, because he's bigger. He's much bigger than a standard Chihuahua. But he's 13 years old, and yeah, he's about tired of all this. So The reason why he's like this is because he's like, thank you for picking me up and getting me away from that monster. But part of it is he's just an old dog. Do I have a name suggestion for Ben and KH? You know what? I haven't thought about that. Are they taking names? I haven't watched the last few videos. Maybe they mentioned it on the live stream, but I don't know. It's hard to pick a dog name to me because, I mean, they had some good ones. They had Bear, you know, and they were really sad when Bear left. And Maggie, I mean, you can't beat Maggie. And she's just sweet. She's just the sweetest thing ever. Chihuahua Beagle mix? I don't think so because he's got a curly tail. And I don't know where he gets the curly tail from. They say that any dog that has a curly tail has got chow. But he doesn't really look like a chow either. You going to put her in there?
Yeah, because she keeps on trying to go in my
Okay.
room and making Jack bark.
That's fine, baby. She's going in the kennel. Hopefully she doesn't start crying really bad because she cries in the kennel too, you know, but we love her.
It's loud. It's loud.
It's really loud, isn't it? Yeah,
It's loud.
it's really loud. Hey, baby, would you get me a Coke Zero?
Yep.
I don't know. What do you guys think? You guys got any name suggestions for Ben and KH for the lab? No, baby. They're open the refrigerator. The refrigerator. You see the big old box, the black box?
Oh, yeah, I see it.
There you go. That's what it is. I need my Coke Zero. I can't have a live without my Coke Zero. So I don't know. I don't know if they're getting a boy or a girl either. Do you guys know that? Are they getting a boy or a girl?
There you go.
Thank you, sugar.
You're welcome.
Hey, go to bed. Okay.
Come on, Dick.
Yeah, boy or girl. He's a mutt. Yeah, I think he has more or less a mutt, but he does have a lot of Chihuahua in him. And but he doesn't bark like a Chihuahua. He doesn't have all that attitude. He's like, if it wasn't for the canine gene in him or DNA, he'd be a cat for the most part. He's more feline than he is anything. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that. I might have to suggest some names for old Ben and KH. So I don't have a special guest tonight. So I'll just go with the introduction. Let's see here. Is there anybody new in here? Andrew, you've been here a lot. Byron, I don't think you're new either. I don't think we have anybody new today, but you guys know this is going to be the most irresponsible YouTube live in lawn care. And you know what? We're yet to get all that irresponsible. So that's okay with me too. We can be responsible or irresponsible. It doesn't matter. The whole point is we get to talk about whatever we want. So, you know what? I'll start this show off a little bit with the beard, okay? The beard. Because you guys probably know I'm challenged to grow this thing until I get to 1,000 subscribers. And I think I have 737. I'm inching along. So at this rate, I've got about 6 more months on this thing. So, but it's getting there, guys. It's getting there. Like I'm starting to show up places. Like I went to a birthday party today and dude I'd never met, he's like, nice beard, man. I'm like, thanks. Never happens. I'm not used to hearing that type of stuff. So that was pretty cool. You know, I've never grown a beard this long. So this is as long as it's ever been. And, you know, it's getting a little itchy. So maybe I need more moisturizing. You guys have beards? Who's got a beard in here? Andrew, you got a beard, man? I don't even know what you look like, man. Byron, you got a beard? I know Rob doesn't. I know Joffrey doesn't. If you do, what do you guys do to moisturize your beard? If you don't, well, then I guess you may not have an answer. But I was told coconut oil because somebody told me that I need to be putting oil in this thing twice a day. And I'm like, well, that's kind of expensive. Because if you get like some of that really nice beard oil stuff, it's like $8-9 for like 4 ounces or something. It's really expensive. And they're like, no, man, just get yourself some coconut oil. I was like, oh, okay. And then another guy told me a wooden comb because my beard was kind of like this. And he says, it's static, man. He says, are you using a plastic comb? And I said, yeah. And he goes, you need to get off that. He's like, you need to get yourself a wooden comb because a wooden comb dissipates the electricity. I'm like, oh. So I got that. And I don't know if that's helping or not. But so the beard's coming along. It's growing. If I had to guess, I don't have a measuring. I do have this little tools that I got from Jay and Christine. They sent me his care package from the GIE last year, not this one that we just missed this year, but look like Santa. You think I look like? Andrew said, if you guys can see this, it says I look like Santa soon. I'm looking like a ginger Santa, like ginger Santa. I got a red beard, but my hair is a different color. And there's a guy at work that has kind of the same color scheme going on. And there's another guy, I call him Scotty because he just looks like he's straight from Scotland, man. And his beard is, man. I'm like, dude, man, you could lose a small animal in that thing. And but he's quiet, so he just looks at me like this. I'm like, man, you're tough crowd. All right, Andrew's got a beard. He says it's a little shorter and all natural. What does that mean? All natural? Are you not putting any added stuff in there, or the stuff you put in there is natural, like coconut oil? Yeah, beards are a pain. I'm not gonna lie, beards are a pain. Stacy over there, Lawn Commander, I don't know how he maintains that thing, man. I couldn't imagine how much beard oil you need for that. But and Joffrey says he thinks he's going to start growing one, but he's going to keep on trimming it, and that's what I used to do. I used to keep it trimmed, so that's why this is the longest I've ever had it, because I would trim it with my trimmers, and I would just use the biggest guard on it, and it just stayed at that. But it was probably, I don't know if it was half, maybe 3/4 what this is. So. Yeah, the itchy and scratchies. And the guys told me that it's because of moisturizing. That if you're not moisturizing properly, then you get the itchy scratchy. But I'm yet to test that because I'm still a little itchy scratchy. And then also I get like the little bumps, like an infected hair or something. But it's not really an infected hair. I think it's just, I don't know what it is. Just heard there's a beard oil and coconut oil too, I think. So I might go with coconut oil too. Yeah, shaving is a pain every day. I didn't do it. I never shaved every day. I'd usually shave like once a week, and it would just be like whenever I felt like it, because I'm kind of lazy and I didn't really have a particular look, so I would just, it would get a little scratchy or itchy and I'd shave it. Sometimes I'd shave it all the way down to the skin. Sometimes I just have like the short beard thing going, but rarely would I let it really go. And I guess it's hard being a man, isn't it? All that beautifying that we got to do to ourselves, we don't get enough credit. The women get all the credit for that because they're beautiful. Women are beautiful. And we think they put a lot of work into it, but doesn't it take a lot of work for us too, to smell the way we smell and to take care of these things, these mugs? Yeah. So guys, what do you guys want to talk about tonight? I got some stuff I could talk about, but I'm not sure if you guys would be interested in it or not. But a lot going on in my life, and some people are interested in it, some people aren't. So if there's anything you guys want to talk about, just put it on in the comments. I'm still trying to figure out. I meant to call Ben before we got here, but I'm not sure how to get a link into the comments. But I'm going to try it. Okay, I'm going to try to invite in the comments. And see if anybody wants to join, then cut and paste this link into your browser in a separate screen, I believe, and see if it works. Because I would really love if somebody wanted to join, that they would have a link to get in. I usually just email this link to whoever it is that I invite on the show, and it works. But I really love to just, like, if you guys have a question, to just use that link, come on in and ask your question face to face. That would be awesome. Kind of like them radio shows where they call in, they take callers. They don't like just email it; they actually get on the show. So that way I can kind of get a look for, recognize who you guys are, and it helps me. It helps me to remember more details about conversations and what's going on in your life, because I'm just a relational kind of cat, and the more I can get that connection, the more I like and enjoy the show. So by the way, Joffrey was on my show a number of weeks ago, and I really appreciate you coming on, man. That was a lot of fun having you on, and I'd love to have you on again anytime. So This is what we'll do. I'm looking at something, and it might make it on the show. I don't know, but I always talk about religion. God's been doing a lot in my family, and I won't get too crazy in it, but I'll just kind of tell you guys what's been going on. We've been doing this thing with like the Bible, and we've been walking with the Lord for about 15 or 16 years, since 2005, and we've been pretty solid in our faith as far as like, we haven't really wavered from it. But we're just learning and growing in our faith and figuring out what it is that we believe. And you go through these periods where you feel more confident in what you believe, and then you learn something. You're like, oh man, maybe I didn't understand that correctly or whatnot. Well, this year has been a really transformative year for my family, and we've been doing things. Some of you guys might know we're doing a Saturday Sabbath, and that's part of it, where a lot of folks Sabbath on Sunday, and then there's the Saturday Sabbath, and we just have fell under conviction that Saturday is the biblical Sabbath, and no judgment or anything like that. It's just, this is just where we're at, that we just believe that Saturday we should be doing on Saturday. So that's what we're doing. But the other thing that we've been doing is called the feast. There's the biblical feast. And in the Bible, God gave like these different feasts. One of them was like Passover. A lot of people know Passover. It's just before Easter, and most of the world kind of makes a big deal out of Easter. But Easter isn't in the Bible, but Passover is, and it's really relative to each other, very, very similar in what they are. So there's a little bit of contrast in the Bible as far as the holidays that we normally do, and then there's the biblical feasts, and they kind of go along with some stuff. So there's Passover. There's the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and what you do with that is you take all the leaven out of your house, and it's kind of a physical act that represents a spiritual truth, which is that we evaluate ourselves or whatever sin we might have in our life, and then we get rid of it. We get rid of it, we deal with it, and that's what getting rid of the leaven in your house is supposed to represent, is removing the sin from our house. And then after that, you count 50 days from that Sabbath. It's 49 days plus 1 day is 50 days, and it's Pentecost. It's a little bit deeper. Some folks know about Pentecost, some people don't. If you're Pentecostal, Rob, I know you're Pentecostal, so you guys are totally familiar with Pentecost. And me and Rob have already talked about all this because we see each other every other week, on our collaboration. And we did that. Pentecost was a camping trip, and we didn't go camping, but we participated with the church that we were visiting that does these feasts. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun being with them and just letting the kids kind of go, and do their thing. And it really, like, we're like, wow, man, this is just a lot of fun. We're just enjoying learning about these holidays, holy days that God calls. And that's where the word holiday comes from, is holy day. So these feasts are holy days. They're Sabbaths, and they're things that we observe. So we're like, man, this is just fun. It's fun to learn about it, and it's fun to observe it. I would take days off work because of the Sabbaths. There's the weekly Sabbath and there's high Sabbaths. So we've been doing that. And then I guess I'll just kind of get to the point, but there's more to it. But the last time we had was, and I was gone. This is part of the reason why I didn't do the live a couple weeks ago, was because we were at the Feast of Tabernacles. And the Feast of Tabernacles is a week-long trip, and it was amazing, guys. It was so amazing. Oh, I think my wife is home. Here she is.
Hello.
Hey, she was out with the girls. They had a bachelorette get together from the girls at church. So yeah, we went to the Feast of Tabernacles, and it was just so much fun. And it was just like community. We had the whole campsite area. It was gated off so we could feel secure with the kids. And they just kind of ran around, and they're wild. And it was funny because if you didn't know where your kid was, all you had to do is be like, hey, have you seen, Haley? And they'd be like, oh, are you there? Because we're just kind of getting to know these people. They're like, oh, are you Haley's dad? And I'm like, yeah. And oh, she's over so-and-so's camp. I was like, well, tell her it's time for lunch if you see her. And they're like, oh, well, they're feeding her already. So it was like we were giving and sharing with each other. And I know that sounds a little irresponsible, because like, what, people you don't even know. But we got to know each other quite quickly. Uh-oh, this little Apple thing popped up again. I don't know how to get rid of it. Sorry, guys. I know you guys can't see this, but the iTunes thing popped up, and it's totally blocking everything. I'm losing viewers. Can you believe that? I don't know who's still here, but I understand. I'm probably boring you guys. You guys are going to be like, I'm never tuning in here again. But it's okay. I mean, you guys can put anything you want. I'll talk about anything. But this is what I love to talk about. And it was just a ton of fun. The weather was great. The kids had a great time. The worship was amazing. We really grew a lot in that way, and we learned a lot about different things that go along. It's all scriptural about how you celebrate this. It's about rejoicing. We were commanded to rejoice before the Lord. So we did a lot of singing, a lot of dancing. It was just a ton of fun. So that's what we were doing. Yay! I kept Rob. I kept Rob. So, yeah. It probably didn't help that I was late, did it, Rob? Probably didn't help that I was late. People probably showed up and like, where are you, man? So, who else have I got? Andrew, did you take off on me, man? Hey, there we go. A and B. Welcome back, by the way. This is the friend of Tino. Yes, you came on last week. How do I start my business and how's it going? Well, that's a great story. I started my business in 2016. Is that right? It's 2020. No, this is my 6th season, so it must have been 15. And it's a little weird because the seasons are off. But anyways, I started my business because my wife wanted to quit her job and stay home with my boy. So I didn't make enough money for that, and because she had a pretty good job and she worked in the oil industry, and so she's going to quit. Then we had to change our lifestyle quite a bit. So we had to save a little bit of money, and we also had to make more money. Will the thrill? I am thrilled, Will, to have you here. Evening. And so I had to think about, what it is that I think I can actually make a business out of, because I've always wanted to own my own business. That's kind of been like a bit of a dream, and but it always just seemed risky, risk it all. It's like now you got responsibility for everything. But the reality of it is like, no matter if you're an employee or you're an owner, there's going to be risk. Somebody's taking a risk. And somebody's absorbing that anxiety, of running the business and keeping it afloat. So it's not really any more risky to being an owner as it is as an employee. It's just the employee doesn't feel that burden. So I thought about now, and I thought my lawn, I do a good job on my lawn. I've usually got one of the best lawns in the neighborhood. So I thought maybe I could do that. I really enjoy it. So I just did that. I just started knocking on doors and talking to people in the neighborhood. I started in my neighborhood, and I just said, hey, I live in the neighborhood, and I'm going to start mowing some lawns. So I'd appreciate it if you considered me. And I got like 8 jobs just like that, just super easy. But I found out pretty quickly that I didn't like knocking on doors, because I knocked on a couple doors and I could tell that there was something going on behind that door. And the last thing in the world they needed was me knocking on their door. So I don't knock on doors anymore, but that's how I got started in that. And I just used the equipment that I had. I had a little Troy-Bilt front wheel drive mower. I had a Boland's curve shaft weed eater, and no, I didn't have a trash can, and a broom. And it's not that I couldn't afford more than that, but that's what I had for my own lawn. And I mowed my lawn like 2 or 3 times a week. So the idea of having to have a blower didn't make sense to me. But I quickly found out as I was mowing other people's lawns that they don't mow their lawns 2 or 3 times a week. So I was brushing off the sidewalks, and it took me forever. So I came home probably after the first lawn, and I told my wife, I said, I'm buying a blower. And the first lawn I got, because I had a day and I was out there knocking on doors, and I knocked on this one door, and a guy answered the door, and he just looked terrible. And I said, oh my gosh, I could just tell that he was having a bad day. And I said, man, I don't want to bother you. I said, you know, I'd like to mow your lawn, you know, and I could tell he was having a bad day, and I was at the end of my day, and I said, you know what? I'd like to mow your lawn free of charge. And he's like, man, I really appreciate that. And what had happened was they got in a car accident, him and his wife, and they were still dealing with like neck pain and all kinds of stuff. And hey, Will, hey man, I'll bring you on in just a minute, okay, bud? And so I just didn't want to be a burden to him. So I wanted to do something nice for him, and I actually am their neighbor. So I mowed his lawn, his front lawn, for free. And then while I was out there mowing, he came out and he goes, you know, he said, me and my wife, we talked about it, and we'd like you to just go ahead and take care of our lawn. And they were the very first customer that I ever had, and it started out mowing it for free. And then from there on, it's just the ball kept on rolling, and I grew every year. Upgraded my equipment. I spend about $2,000 on equipment every year. I can't say I've done that every year, but that's the last 3 years. That's what I've done out of the 6, and probably all of them. And then I just, stayed solo and just upgraded my equipment, trying to get things done faster and do things better. And that's what happened. So hey guys, Will's here, and I'm going to bring him in. Okay. And, we'll see how he's doing. There's Will.
What is going on?
What is going on, Mr. Will? How you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing very good, man. Are you in a car?
I am. Yeah, I'm almost home. I had to run to the other side of town for a bunch of chlorine for a job I last minute booked for tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Chlorine. What are you doing? Like pools? Are you shutting down pools?
Doing house wash. And
house wash.
For tomorrow, I actually booked it's a very well-known restaurant here in the area. So I'm excited about it because I'm hoping for just some exposure off of it because I'm just getting started myself.
Excellent. So you're just getting started like this year?
Yeah. Actually, the last couple months is my beginnings in owning, in this industry. I've been an employee. I'm sure you may or may not have seen. I've been on other people's videos, but I've been an employee for 3-4 years now. Mm-hmm. Oh, hell, my phone mount don't want to stay up.
Andrew, I see you, buddy. I'll bring you here in just a second.
So, and I'm sure you can relate, it's a tough time of year to decide, you're going to start a business, much less one that's outdoors.
Yeah.
But I'm doing what I can, and it's just kind of time to make that switch and not be tethered down, I guess, would be one of the ways to put it.
Yeah, that's actually an excellent way of putting it. Me and my wife were just talking about that because it kind of scares her, the idea of me going full time. But
you talking about that made me just want to come up and say I can relate.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching YouTube videos from guys for some time, and that's always been a question. It's like, how do you know when you should go full time? And I think it's probably different for everybody, but I haven't heard anybody say, oh, that was easy. I had no fear in that. It's a big step.
I talked with someone about it. I felt like it went on for hours the other day. It was probably like an hour, but I mean, there's so many factors in deciding when is the time.
Yeah. Yep. And I think that's probably different for a lot of people depending on their situation, So like for me, yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, man. I need to stop talking sometimes. So just be like, you know what, Matt, just shut up sometimes. Let me talk and I'll be okay. I'm okay with that.
No, but you're the host.
Well, I get too chatty sometimes.
Me too. But location.
Well, congratulations.
Depending on. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm excited. I've been doing everything I can just to make the steps, even though it's a time of year where stuff does slow down. I'm trying to make the last push and say, hey, people, don't put Christmas lights on your dirty, filthy house. Let me clean it.
Right. I imagine you can keep on doing that as long as the weather's not freezing, right? as long as you keep that water flowing.
Yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
and more so than water, it's about, can I keep chlorine active in an active temperature range?
Oh wow. What's the ideal temperature for the chlorine?
Um, 50s, 60s is really good because
Yeah.
once you get above about 85, chlorine dies. So, like, if you're out in the heat of the summer and you just start spraying chlorine out everywhere, you're going to be very ineffective in what you do
Oh
just
wow.
because it's like, pool chlorine. Like, it can only last so long unless it's there in water.
Yeah.
So, there's a science that goes into it, just like, you lawn care experts.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because it's I've heard that before too. It's like it's not rocket science. It's just mowing lawns, but uh, you
I
know,
beg to differ.
I mean, you can tell when somebody knows what they're doing though, and you can tell when somebody is just the teenager down the road, just getting $15 for that lawn.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, why did I do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Will, do you mind if I go ahead and bring in Andrew?
No, please do. I was actually gonna flip around the camera and then I'm gonna drop out because I got some moving uh, stuff around to do because I just went and bought 50 gallons of chlorine.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well,
But
I will definitely let you
thank
have at that. So congratulations again on your new
thank you
start.
so
And,
much, and it was great to be able to pop up and say hi and swap a
yeah,
few words with you. Hope to keep in touch.
yeah, absolutely, man. Anytime.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Andrew
All right.
Waymaker, y'all have a great night, guys. I'll try and pop back in a few.
Alrighty, guys. I'm bringing
Hello.
Andrew up. Here you are. What's going on, Andrew?
Not too much.
Excellent. Thanks for coming on, man.
You got a nice beard.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's the second time I've heard that
You-
today.
Eventually, you're gonna get the scent. You can just go.
I know, right? I find myself doing that a little bit, kind of, combing a little,
I think over a few years, you might end up looking like Gandalf.
like Gandalf.
Not
Oh, wow.
Gandalf. Long Commander.
Yeah. It might take me a couple years.
Stacy.
Yeah. Boy, his is epic, isn't it?
He's got to be one of the thickest in all of the lawn care community.
I think so. He has got it going on. I asked him if he would ever shave that thing off. He's like, no. And I believe that because I was like, man, by the time I get to 1,000 subscribers, I don't know how long this thing's going to be, and I might not want to be able to part with it.
Yes, he is a Waymaker.
Will is very cool, very very cool. I'm so glad that he came on. Uh-oh, did I lose you? Nope. There you are.
Nope. It's StreamYards. Not always the best, most stable.
No, I've had pretty good luck, but I haven't had a whole lot of people on the stream, and I haven't had more than one person at a time. But it's been pretty good for me, and pretty happy with it so far.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So, Mr. Andrew, tell me about yourself. I know you've written this down before, but remind me, where are you from again?
I'm from upstate New York, but I live in South Carolina now
Okay.
because of taxes.
Yeah, I remember that now. I remember that. So has it been a month or so you've been down to South Carolina?
We've been in South Carolina for about a year and a half.
Year and a half. Okay. All right.
Almost two, but
Okay. Yeah. So, well, it's much prettier. Well, I don't know. Upstate New York is quite pretty, but South Carolina,
yes.
yeah.
If you go up to the edge of the mountains by South Carolina, it's got beautiful leaves.
Yeah. Are they all dropping now, or is it still too warm out there?
It's about peak or just past peak, but they're probably not dropped yet.
Yeah. Boy, it's dropping like crazy around here because the wind's starting to kick up. So this is kind of like our second spring here.
They're starting to drop back here a lot, but
yeah,
there's still, I look just a few minutes ago, and there's still a lot up there.
Yeah. Do you get do the winds kick up pretty high in South Carolina, or is it pretty calm most of the time?
At times, because I'm maybe 40 miles from the mountains,
Okay. Yeah.
and probably about 45 the other way to the west,
Okay.
northwest.
Excellent. We just had
So
somebody
within-
come in. It's
So within hours
America.
southwest of me, I could be in Georgia.
Oh wow. So yeah, that's pretty. So is that middle? Is that about the middle of the state?
Near the northwest corner of the state.
Northwest corner of the state. Okay. All right.
Not
Yeah, I
far
spent
from
some
where
time.
South Carolina and Georgia meet. So
Mm-hmm. That wasn't too far from where I was. I was in Knoxville, Tennessee, for about a year and a half. So it probably wouldn't have taken me too long to get there.
4 hours, 6 hours.
4 hours, 6 hours. See, to me, that's not too bad.
It's not a bad drive unless you mind the mountains.
Yeah.
If you, it's to go from Knoxville to here, you have to go through the mountains.
Yeah. I don't imagine anybody complain about that drive though. Unless you're a trucker.
It's not fun in the snow. I'll tell you right now. Because
Yeah.
last February we weren't expecting it. We went back to New York to visit family, and lo and behold, it was snowing.
Yeah. Gosh. Well, we almost never get snow here. We get a ton of ice, but not much snow. Every once in a while we get a big dump, and then it goes like 10 more years before we get another snow.
I'm like, how in the world did they mess that up?
Yeah. I'm going to say hello to just a couple guys that just came in. We got, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, but it's Marakek from Seattle, Washington. And we got Rick Romans from Caleb's Lawn Care. So
What's up?
Rick Roman, he's been dropping by. Yeah, I know, right? Yep. He was on Ben's from Acme's live the other. I think,
Oh yeah, I saw.
They had a pretty good time.
I've seen him. I think I met him a couple times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was looking forward to meeting a bunch of these guys at GIE this year, but obviously we're not going to that.
Did you see? I think it was either DLT or Lawn Stars. They did a little skit on about how long it was canceled. The GIE.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Boy, those guys are going to spoof everything that's going on for sure.
Those guys are funny.
Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely creative, and pushing the lines always. I don't know that anybody would expect anything different from them.
I don't think they'll do it any other way.
No.
They're not always politically correct, but they're always good entertainment.
Yeah. So, Mr. Andrew, this being the first time that I've seen you face to face, tell me about your business, man. When did you get started?
I don't have a business, so.
What? Okay, that's cool. So how did you get involved in the lawn care YouTube community?
Well, I was learning about, when I moved down here, I was learning about Bermuda lawns, since I've always dealt with Kentucky bluegrass, and Bermuda is a totally different. It was totally almost foreign, so I knew nothing.
Yeah.
I knew almost nothing on how to take care of Bermuda.
Yeah. Well, I think it's probably one of the easiest grasses to take. Would you agree with that in comparison to Kentucky blue?
It can be, but it can be difficult to identify when you do get a fungus, which fungus it is, because at times there's like 3 different funguses that look almost the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're all,
you get what do you call that? There's dollar spot.
There's dollar spot. There's brown patch, and there's one more. They look very similar.
Yeah. I'm still educating myself some on funguses because I haven't dealt in fungicides yet. But spring dead spot is what I
When
come
you,
across here a lot.
sometimes if you get brown spots all over the lawn that are like the size of a dollar, that like the dollar coin,
Hmm. Yeah,
then most likely you have dollar spot.
yeah, yeah. I get these random spots that are about the size of like a plate, like a dinner plate,
Mhm.
and it seems pretty characteristic of spring dead spot because what they say is like basically in the spring it looks like it's dead, and
Yeah.
then just through the time, eventually the grass grows in there. But in that exact same spot every single year, uh, it's just really slow to come in. But I only have that in a few lawns.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah. So you're basically like, do you have the best lawn in the neighborhood? Is that what's going on?
Not quite, but it's much better than it was a year ago. About a year ago,
Yeah.
when I moved, almost 2 years ago when I moved in, there was at
Hmm.
least 10 or 20 different kinds of weeds in the lawn.
Hmm.
Because the people before me did not really believe much in the way of what is it, herbicide,
Yeah.
weed killer,
Herbicides. Yeah. Yeah.
and fertilizer.
Yeah.
So we kind of had to, okay, how many kinds of weeds do we have?
Right. Right. Yeah. It's around here. I don't think we get like 10 or 20 different kinds of weeds, but we definitely have about 3, 4, 5 of the most common. And most of the pests or the herbicides, pesticides, herbicides, kind of the same difference. It's all in the same category, but uh, most of the herbicides that take care of one will take care of most of them. And then there's just a few weeds you got to get something special for.
Oh
But
yeah,
the Bermuda, that's part of one of the things I was saying about Bermuda is once you get growing, uh, oftentimes it kind of takes care of a lot of the weeds itself for the
and
most part.
if you're getting a new lawn, Bermuda sod, for God's
Hmm.
sakes, put it at the correct time of year. Otherwise, it's not going to
Yeah,
do well.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
The neighbors did that, and
Yeah,
it looks like crap.
yeah. I get that a lot from people. They'll come up and they'll ask me when do I plant, this or whatever, and they'll be in the completely wrong season for it. Like they want fescue lawn because they hear so much about fescue around here because it stays green and all that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? It's middle June.
Oh yeah.
But they don't
If
they don't know though. They just don't know. I mean, how would they know? Uh, but yeah, they're always sad when I tell them that. But I say, hey, but the good news is you got 2 times a year, that you get to plant that. So, where Bermuda, you really only shot at it that year, but fortunately, it's aggressive.
Well, Bermuda it actually doesn't really grow up as fast as it grows out.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Ben
Joffrey Guth from. Mhm.
Ben knows the particular term. He knows about Bermuda.
Yeah. Yeah. Guth was saying that they get rust. Have you ever dealt with rust in turf?
I have not, but I thought I
Yeah.
did, but I don't.
Yeah. He,
But
obviously,
I
Joffrey
found a
can recognize
product.
it.
If anybody has fungus, try this. It works
Hey, there you
great.
go. Does that
It
work pretty
connects to the
good?
hose. It uses about I think 5 or 7,000 square feet,
Hmm.
32 ounces. It's
Yeah.
about
Does that
20
work pretty
bucks
good?
from Home Depot. It works.
Okay.
I've used it
Good.
at least 3 times, twice in New York and twice here, and it works.
Okay. Now, do you usually put that down in the fall time? I heard that that's the best time to put down
Down here,
fungicide.
next spring we're gonna start doing it once a month,
Oh, really? Wow. Okay. All
just
right.
to prevent. Because last year we got a fungus, and then it got too hot to put it down because you can't put it down above 90 degrees
Hmm. Okay.
because it can burn, as you know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there's some good info. w- I think probably the most common fungus that I've dealt with lately is mushrooms, which
Mushrooms, you
I don't
got
care.
it easy,
I
man.
don't care about them. Yeah, I know, right?
Mushrooms, that could mean you have a compact soil or something. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, a lot of it is compact around here. Almost nobody does aerations around here, because it's just. I say nobody does. Not that's not from the business side. That's from the residential side. So if you find somebody that aerates their lawn, you know they're really trying to pay attention to the lawn because many people do it. And then if I do it, I'm going to be doing it with a walk behind, and those things will just beat you up. So I'm charging like 2 or 3 times what I would, to mow grass. And a lot of people don't want to pay for that because they basically don't understand the benefit.
For about 0.6 acres, we paid probably about $100 to aerate
Yeah,
the whole lawn.
yeah.
So,
hmm
which probably isn't too
That's
bad.
about right. Yeah.
Well, actually, he did it for 90
Joffrey-
because we put the pool in. So,
Joffrey Gruth is he's pretty confident in his lawn ability. He said, "I used to dominate the neighborhood." Yeah. Yeah. You watch the Lawn Care Nerd?
Guth, are you near Chicago or no? Or are you north of Chicago? My parents
There
used to
we
live
go.
up near Batavia.
Yeah.
Which is just north of Chicago.
I know he's in central Illinois, but I'm not sure how far away it is from Chicago. I know other people from his area, and they are Bears fans, so they've got to be somewhat. But I think Washington's in more central Illinois. But he also says he's used that stuff that you showed us, and he said it works good. He says it works good for rust too.
Yeah, I just recommended it to my neighbor who has the same fungus I did and the same grass. I told him put it down next spring because probably not the best time to put it down now because it's going dormant.
Yeah. Y'all, I just put another link out there. So if you want to join the program, I'm going to extend it a little bit tonight because I got started late. So I'm just put another invitation out there for anybody that wants to join.
Hey, Rick,
Goose says he's about 2.5 hours from Chicago.
Yeah, my dad's friend, his family is from the north side of Chicago. He's a huge Bears fan.
Yeah.
Because when the
he says, "Yeah, go Bears."
When the Cubbies were in the World Series a few years ago, in Indianapolis, which is just like 2 or 3 hours from Chicago, people were on the news. They were referring it to as Chicago as well. It's kind of strange. Two Chicagos. Chicago 2.0.
Yeah. I've been to Chicago one time. It was an 8th grade trip for me, and I remember just being in awe. That city was huge. So, but I'm from St. Louis area originally, so, and it's much bigger than St. Louis, I think.
You been in New York City?
Yeah, actually, one time as well. My dad lives in Connecticut, and my wife and I took a trip out there to see my dad, and it's about a 45-minute train ride from my dad's house to New York City. So we stayed in a hotel just outside the city, took the train in, and it was just like the whole time it was just looking up.
Does he live he must live on the south side of Connecticut then?
I'm not sure.
To be that close to the city.
Is it Stafford, something like that?
Yeah.
I should know where my dad lives,
between the middle and southern Connecticut.
Yeah. All right, we got Rick.
Hey,
Rick?
What's going on, Rick Romans?
home a little bit ago. How you doing?
We're doing good, man. We're doing good. I started the show a little late, so we're going to run a little late too.
Well, I lucked out, didn't I?
Yeah. Yeah,
Did we
absolutely,
wake
man.
you, Rick?
What time did you start it?
I was about 10 after 9.
Oh,
I
okay.
tried to
About
start about
almost
9 o'clock.
50 minutes ago. Almost an hour.
That's good. How come Rob don't never come up here?
Well, if I could be honest, Rick, I'm not a real technological guy. So I just now figured out how to put a link in the comments so people could join.
Oh,
But he's welcome. If he's on. We'll get
yeah.
him on.
I think you said one time didn't he have bad internet service out there where he lives?
He does, and he may not come on for that reason because yeah, he said it takes him like, I can't remember how long, but it was like 24 hours or something to upload a video. It's ridiculous. So
Yeah.
when he gets the video out, he really put a lot of
Does
time
he
and
live
effort
out
into
in
that.
the-
Him and
Does
his
he live
daughter.
out in? How far is he from Ben?
Rob lives maybe about 10 minutes from me, I think. There's a lake
so
that's
he's
in
at
between
your
me and
end.
him, and he lives on the other side of the lake. Now Ben lives about 40 minutes west of us.
Okay.
So, and Ben's pretty far out there too. He's in a nice, quiet town. I'm pretty close to the city. Rob's pretty close to the city, but we've got a bunch of these little lakes that are just kind of implanted in the suburbs, state parks and things like that. And Rob kind of lives out there on the other side of the lake that divides us. And he's got a little bit of land out there. I'm straight in a track home, man. I could go like this and touch the house just about. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but I'm totally suburb.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, I'd love to get out of there.
Are you saying you got neighbors close to you?
Yeah. Rick, you wouldn't believe it. I had a customer last year. I couldn't even fit a 21-inch mower in between the AC units that they put in between the two houses.
Man,
Because they have to be so many feet from the
I
property
feel like
line,
I
right?
was in prison.
Sometimes, man. Sometimes it feels like that.
I
It
think
does.
it's
I'm
at
saying it
least
does.
it's what 10 or 20 feet from the property line or something.
Yeah, I don't know, because I don't put it past some of these builders to just to do things that are not code.
Yes.
So
Oh yeah.
yeah, they got the inspectors out, and I don't have a whole lot of faith in that because we built our house in 2008, and you come across stuff. It's like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe they did that. How did that pass? But they get things by, and they build these houses. They try to pack as many houses in these properties as they can. So I'm sure they're pushing the limits. And that house that I was telling you about, Rick, or both of you actually, but
Yeah.
it was in an older part or an older neighborhood as well. And who knows, they could have built that house and the AC may not have been there. I don't know. And they may have just put it there like after the fact, replacing something. I don't know. But people do silly things with houses. Silly things.
So you built your house too, Matt?
Yep. Yeah. We built it in 2008. And we're the only people lived here. We've seen people come and go. Everybody's like, oh, this is a starter home.
Are you in a neighborhood or a dead end street?
We're in a neighborhood. We've got about 3 streets. There's more streets than that in our neighborhood, but the little section that I'm in, it's basically a grid, a square where you got 2 streets and 1 street in the middle, and it's like that. So we don't have a whole lot of houses in the neighborhood, but it butts right up against another neighborhood, and then another neighborhood butts right up against another one. So you can't tell when you pass from one neighborhood to another, except for the architecture at times, because there may have been 20 years difference, between those 2 neighborhoods being built.
Yeah.
We built our house and moved in it in 99 when we moved
In
in.
99?
Yeah.
Yeah, gosh. So I'm not good with math. So 2021 years, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Did you
house is
plan
only
on
about 6 years old.
6 years?
Yeah.
Did you guys build it too?
No.
Yeah. Oh, well, of
was
course not, because you just moved there a couple years ago.
Actually, it was supposed to be the guy 2 doors down, but he put his house across the street across the way on the market before this one, before we bought this one,
Hmm.
and that sold first, and they bought 2 doors down, and somebody bought this one.
Yeah. Yeah. So, are you the type to stay in a home like Rick is? 21 years. You're going to stay there for a while.
Well, the last house I lived in was the house I lived most of my life in, so we lived there for probably 23 years.
Yeah. Gosh. Yeah. We built our house with the idea that we were going to stay here forever, just no matter what. But I don't know. I think I'd like to stretch my
And
legs out a little bit.
and for close to 15 of those years, we got mail from the people that lived there 15 before.
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like we need to increase the budget for the post office, right? Like that's
Yes.
how that should be fixed.
And
Yeah.
they need to double check their addresses and where they're delivering.
That sounds like the better idea, much cheaper idea to me. Yeah.
Whenever we built this house, we planned on this was going to be the final home.
Yeah.
Now, we'd already been married. It's been 21 years ago. We've been married. Already been married 15 years. But we lived here before we built the house. We had a trailer here. We had a trailer here, and then we pulled it up to the front of the lot. Then I dug the footer here. Got a backhoe and dug the footer. And then we built it, and we hadn't never planned on going anywhere else.
Yeah. I just can't stand moving. I don't know
No,
anybody that likes moving.
no, I hate moving.
I know. Everybody wants the new house, but nobody likes to move.
If I had to move, I'd have to hard done.
Yeah.
Well, if he moved, it'd be into a brand new house.
Boy, if I move, I'm moving into an
Turnkey.
RV, and I'm not bringing anything.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Already furnished.
Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah, Joffrey, you guys know Joffrey, right? We've been talking about him a little bit. He's been remodeling his house. He just put it in the comments. So he plans to be there for a while.
yeah.
And yeah, I gotta say, I don't even want to
Words, Gov.
remodel.
Granite and tile.
Say what?
Granite and tile. They're two easiest things to keep clean.
That's true. Tile. We put wood all through our house. That laminate wood, and so it's about 10 years old now, and it's still doing pretty good. But the transition pieces are pretty broke up. So, but yeah, I think we're gonna. I don't like carpet. Oh, I do like carpet, but I'm down with the easy to maintain, long lasting stuff. So
Well, we got like in our kitchen, dining room, foyer, we got hardwood, and we got carpet throughout the rest of it. But now we've had plans on putting hardwood all the way through the house.
yeah,
But that's still probably going to happen. But I like carpet for the wintertime.
right.
These hardwood floors, they get cool. I don't care, even though you shut your vents and everything on your foundation, they still get cold.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. It definitely. Our floors get cold. We got a slab house. Is your slab
Yeah.
house, Rick? Yeah. So
No,
it's-
mine's on a foundation. We're raised up about 5 blocks high.
yeah. So
Yeah, we got a crawl space.
yeah. Do you ever have any problems with that in the wintertime with that, or is that something you got to do every year? Because all we have around here pretty much, if it's been built within the last 40 years, it's on a slab around here.
I've never had a minute's trouble out of it.
Yeah.
Never had a
If
minute's
you
trouble.
have waterline issues on a slab, you're looking at pricey
Yeah.
fix.
Yeah. Breaking
big.
the concrete out. And that's what I thought too. I was like, I used to think that was kind of a good thing. And it probably is, because there's an amount of insulation in the concrete, and you don't hear of too many problems, but yeah, when you do, boy, you got a mess in your house.
You got
'Cause
that
my
right.
dad's friend lives on, as her house is on a slab in Florida, and she had a water issue, and the guy gave her an estimate to fix it. But luckily, it was just a simple fix.
Yeah.
It wasn't the fix they thought it was going to be, but it was simple. But the original estimate was she like dropped her jaw. It was that expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. I think these houses down further south, it seems like we tend to do them slab houses. The ground just doesn't get that cold here. You know, I mean,
We, we usually go like have an 18-inch, what we call 18-inch. You got to dig. If you put any ditches in, any water lines in the ground, you have to go 18 inches. That's what we
18
call.
inches. Is that like your sprinkler systems? Are they the same way?
No, they wouldn't be that way. You just go in there and drain them if you want. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? In the season.
Water
Yeah.
line, sprinkler lines are only down by a couple inches, couple 4 inches.
I
If
think
that.
people put ours around 6 inches. I think is what people put them down. Six. I think 6 inches.
In the
But
ground.
I'm not sure what standard is. Yeah, they're not too deep usually. I've had to replace a couple sprinkler heads because broke them. And
The annoying
yeah.
part is when they put them right along the edge of a cement driveway.
oh, I know, right? I don't like that. I don't like that.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, which idiot put this right next to the driveway?
Yeah.
Now we don't have
good.
very few people you see around here have any sprinkler heads or any irrigation. We don't have anybody has that.
Yeah. Now you're out there. You're out there, and you got a wide open space, and your neighbors do too. Or is that the same thing for like the people that live in subdivisions as well?
Well, we live in the country,
Yeah.
and like the nearest city's like 30-some miles away.
Yeah.
And no, they're like the houses, when we do houses, like far as our customers, for the most part, there's nobody like right next door to one another. You know what I'm saying? They're not close.
Yeah.
No, we don't do like in town. We don't even have any customers in town. We got one lot, empty, vacant lot that we mow that's in town. And that's the only thing. And it's not tight because it's wide open. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Or why is he still holding on to the lot?
It's a real estate agent owns the property. We got some work we do for a real estate agent.
Yeah. So
And they have to
Rick-
keep it mowed.
What's interesting is when someone buys a lot, he wants to move and downsize. She wants to stay. So the neighbor owns a lot over here. He wants to move. She wants to stay. So they bought a lot over here. And the rest of the lots have sold.
There was a trailer on this lot before, and I guess the trailer burned down, and then they went in. The real estate agent went in and bought the property.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of folks around here, and just open areas where nobody's developed it, and I don't know if people just like had land from a long time ago before they started developing the area, and they're just like holding off until they, like it's their retirement plan or what. But we've got like these giant open lots where you think it'd be prime real estate, to develop it, and just nothing happens with it. And that's the one thing I can think of is that that's got to be somebody's retirement plan. Like they're going to sell that off to, Walmart or something.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because there's a lady over here. She's got like several acres, like 32 acres, and she's got like in half of it's woods, and she's got a few horses, and a few companies have offered her millions to buy the land. She said no.
Well, I would have taken it.
I know, I would have.
She must be. Is she older lady?
I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is her property backs up to the property about 4 houses up.
Yeah.
Man.
Good
It
night,
goes that
Mr.
way.
Rob. Mr. Rob taking off.
Surely he ain't, is he? I thought he was coming up.
Yeah, I know. I think it probably is his internet connection, but I've been kind of bad with the
Yeah.
comments. It's kind of hard when you, but Guth was talking about, he's like, you were talking about 18 inches, Rick. Guth was
Yeah,
saying
we're
his is,
18 inches. Yeah.
his is
He's
48
4
inches.
foot, ain't he?
Yeah, but he's up from the north in central Illinois. It gets pretty
Oh,
cold
yeah,
up
I'm sure.
there. Yeah, and
Yeah, what it is, they stay, their ground stays frozen longer than ours does.
yeah. Well, I don't even know.
The longer it freezes, the deeper it goes, you know.
I don't even know if our ground actually freezes for more than 2 weeks. Like our ground temperature stays pretty warm most of the time.
Oh,
So
really?
it's, yeah, I mean, we do get ice, for a short period of time, but it's just the
Yeah.
temperatures don't get cold enough for long enough here, for for really, having real bad issues. I had a pipe, my spigot just behind the spigot. It sprung a leak once, but I mean that was towards the exterior of my wall, So it's and I didn't cover that. I didn't insulate my spigot,
Yeah.
So, but that's the only problem I've ever had with this, So it
It gets cold out
Oklahoma, they
there,
always say that
though.
it get cold.
It gets cold out there in Oklahoma, but just don't stay cold, right?
Right, exactly. Like when we get snow, even when we've had our heaviest snows, I think 2009 and 2010, we had a couple of really bad snows, bad for us. I mean, we're talking like, it was like 18 inches at one time, something like that. It was a lot
Yeah.
at one time.
That was
Yeah,
so
I
fun.
mean, yeah, it really was. I got stuck at work because I worked on base. Yeah, but it was great because you don't do anything when it snows like that. The base
You
shuts
had
down.
4-wheel drive, didn't you?
Oh no, I drove a little 3-door Focus at that time.
They probably
Oh.
does the state road have anything to clear the roads out there?
Yeah, the state they took care of the interstates, and the cities would take care of the city roads. But if you lived in a house, you were just stuck. Nobody was coming to plow
If-
your roads.
I went down
Down
to
here,
Alabama
if-
one year.
Over here, if they need a lot of plows, part of the time they use put plows in the front of the garbage trucks.
Yeah, yep, yeah.
And if they talk about
I've-
several inches of snow, just talk. The city shuts down.
That sounds just like Oklahoma City. They don't know how to handle that.
And just like New York, nobody knows how to drive in the snow.
Yeah. So now upstate New York, you're quite acquainted with snow up there.
Well,
I'm
I got
sure.
4-wheel drive, so I'm good.
Yeah. Now, so what did you guys do when you were in upstate New York, went through the winter and you had a bunch of snow? Did they go canceling school and stuff like that?
Yeah, they had until probably 4 a.m. They had a cutoff time before when they checked all the roads and sent a scout out to check the roads and see the conditions. And then they made a determination with the superintendent.
Yeah.
He made the call. And there were a few days where they're like, "What snow? It was supposed to be snowing like a foot. What snow?"
And then it didn't happen. Yeah, that's the way it always
Yeah.
happens here. They give you the worst case scenario over the weather report, and then it doesn't happen. But they'll shut down school if it's just too cold here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. I mean, I'm not trying to be insensitive towards kids or not, but their logic on it is that they don't want the kids standing outside in the cold waiting for the bus.
I
Yeah,
think
if it's
you're
too cold, they'll delay or they'll cancel.
now if it gets like down 10 degrees and lower here, I
Yeah.
think cancel. I think that's cut off where they start canceling school. And then like they do, like he was talking about, they go out and scout the roads.
Yeah.
Then they'll make the call, and then they'll call school off.
Yeah. And once school gets called off, everything else gets called off too, because the parents, the parents now
really?
got to stay home. Yeah, yeah. So they'll. I mean, it's not a guarantee, but I think that seems to be the chain of events that happens. Because if
the school's canceled, usually all after school activities are canceled, which includes
Yeah.
sports.
yeah, yep, yeah,
And
everything.
I never did have that luxury.
They usually do that in the ice.
Yeah,
I never did have
I
that
suppose-
getting called off because of getting work called off because they didn't shut the coal mines down no matter what.
no, I wouldn't imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what'll happen around here. You know, they'll close schools, and then all of a sudden, you know, all the employers that are non-essential for whatever's going on. Like I'm sure there's city workers, things like that. A lot of base workers, but I know the base will authorize what they call liberal leave for the civilian employees because the school shut down. So they're like, okay, it's cool, don't come to work, you know, or you know, of course, law enforcement, all those guys, they still got to go, but you know, they figure, well, if the kids are going to stay home from school, then there's got to be somebody there to take care of them, and a lot of parents will call off. You know, they'll just call in sick. You know.
Now, are you working from home, Matt, or are you going to work?
No, I'm going to work. I have to because I drive a truck. And it was kind of a joke. Yeah, it was kind of a joke when this whole thing happened. It was like, do we get to work from home too? And they're like, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless
I know Ben was saying last night him and KH has been working from home ever since.
Yeah, FAA, they've been doing that. Yeah, a lot of people are still working from home. Boeing has a big office here, and I have a couple of friends that work for Boeing and Northrop Grumman, and they're all working from home. So I'm not sure. And Boeing's even, according to my buddy, they're talking about permanently doing that.
Oh, really?
Are they Are they combining offices now with Boeing? Because they're moving the one from Seattle down to Charleston.
Oh, it's possible. It's possible. I don't know a whole lot about it because it's not where I work, but my buddy goes to Seattle often, or he used to. But there's different programs depending on what aircraft program that person is working on. So they have these different cities where these different programs are on, and I think he's like on the C-17 program and the B-1 program. But the C-17 program is actually from like California, you know. But he's working on that program from here. And a lot of that stuff can happen remotely, and I guess Boeing's figuring out that the work's still getting done, you know, and they don't have to carry as much office.
They have to, because they're working on planes, and
and a lot of their government contracts
have to be on physically there to work on the plane.
Yeah, and their government contracts too. So the government won't let them, you know, be like, oh well, you know, whatever, you know. Where on the other hand,
when you're driving truck, are you driving on base all the time? Like
yeah. There's only been a few times. Yeah, there's only been a few times I had to drive off base, and it's because of maintenance. We have to drive our truck down to the maintenance, like international. A lot of our models are international, the manufacturers. So we'll get some work performed that the on-base vehicle maintenance people will not take care of. So we'll drive it downtown, but that's only happened like twice in almost 11 years of me working there. Other than that, it's pretty much 100% on base. So we don't have to deal with any of the like over the road paperwork, you know, weights and
all that.
Yeah. Don't have to do any of that. It's actually an ideal job for a CDL driver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
You used to work CDL?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm currently I drive a fuel truck. So it's got a 6,000 gallon tank on it, and then I drive it out to the aircraft, and it's got a pumping system on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So not unlike what you see, you know, if you've ever, you know, at the airport, except they actually drive a truck out there. I see the guys at the airport. They hook to the in-ground pit most of the time.
Yeah.
Which I do that too. We have other trucks for that, but those aren't quite as.
Are you required to have hazmat?
Yeah. Yeah. I still got to have all those endorsements and everything.
Okay.
But it's what they call intrastate driving, not meaning I'm limited on the scope that I'm allowed. I'm not really allowed. I can drive off base, but basically it's saying I'm never gonna be going from state to state.
Right,
I'll
right.
stay within the state. So there's less qualifications that have to go with it. Like I don't have to go through a medical.
Oh, you
What do you
know,
call it? Physical?
physical, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, do you have to take an annual physical for your CDLs?
No,
No.
no, no. And that's because I'm working for a government contract.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that makes it nice, doesn't
Yeah, it's like all the negatives to driving a truck go away with what I'm doing.
it? Yeah, really.
So-
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, really, you shouldn't have to have. I mean,
Mm-mm.
Well,
I mean,
you're not, out in
it
pu- you're
wouldn't
not
take
really
you
out in
months.
public or anything.
It wouldn't take them months to switch to a tractor trailer.
Mm-mm. No. Now I currently just have a Class B. I don't have a Class A. There's a lot of guys that do have a Class A that work with me, but it's not required. We don't have any. We don't actually drive tractor trailers, but our vehicles weigh 70,000 pounds.
Right, right.
So we have to have at least a Class B tank truck, air brake, hazmat endorsement. So we still got
Right.
to go through the background checks and take the test. But other than that,
I mean, you have the skills that you could transfer over that could
Mhm.
help you
Yeah.
easier, quickly get access to the tractor trailer.
yeah, I could upgrade it to a Class A, but then I'd have to go take the test. I'd have to
Right.
take the driving test for it.
What
So
about your hazmat? Would you have to take a test for it too?
I have to take a test for that every time I renew my license every 4 years.
Oh, on the hazmat?
hmm
Okay.
Yeah, and it's funny because there's a little program out there called CRIST CDL, and it's basically a practice test that is the test.
Oh, really?
Nice.
Yeah.
That helps.
Yeah, that helps a lot. So
Yeah.
especially considering I don't really deal with any of that. Like
Right,
a lot of it's like
right.
placarding your trucks, which we do have placards, but I'm not in charge of that.
Really, Gus?
And we don't change material. It's the same material that we carry all the time. So we don't change placards. Nothing changes.
Right.
So
Apparently, Gus doesn't have air brakes.
it says he doesn't have air brakes. He says he's got it for school bus, which is funny. Oh, see if he pops up.
If I'm not mistaken, school buses use air brakes.
I think so. I'm trying to think because I used to be vehicle maintenance. We worked on school buses, but it's been so long. I mean, it's been like 17 years since I've done any work on anything like that. But I think they do have air brakes, at least the ones I did. We worked on Bluebird buses.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a good chunk of buses are Bluebird. So
Yeah. So he was the same way. He said he couldn't cross state lines. He did need a yearly physical, but it isn't Illinois Department of Transportation. Oh, okay. There we go. That's something that's interesting. The different states have different requirements at times.
Yeah, it is. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that ain't all CDLs now federal.
Are they?
I said,
They could be.
well, I know they're supposed to be changing it.
Is that with the Real ID Act?
I think so.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I think so.
Yeah. Oklahoma has had waiver after waiver after waiver, but the guys are having a lot of trouble now because our waivers ran out. So we're having to go to the Real ID now this year,
Right.
and the guys are having a lot of trouble. So it could be right.
Rick, if you want to know the answer, ask Brian Gardner. He's a truck driver.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guys, it's about 10:30 now, and
Well, it must be nice. It's about 11:30 here.
11:30. Yeah, yeah. Man, you guys are staying up late for me, man. You guys are great. You guys are great, man.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate you guys.
Is she asleep? The puppy?
Well, I enjoyed it. I've been wanting to get a chance to get on here and meet you, Matt. I watch you all the time. And have you all? Let me ask you before you get off. Are you all still having church?
Yes, we are. Now we just changed churches since COVID happened,
Uh huh.
and there's been kind of a movement with pastors, they're kind of refusing to, like if their state, because states are running this differently, and the states that are saying they can't meet, there's a lot of pastors that are rebelling against that. And Oklahoma, fortunately, is still allowing us to meet if we want, but there's restrictions.
Yeah.
Now, our church is a little looser on that, and so far we've been healthy, which is good. But we kind of go to one of the more, I don't know what you call it, but
Larger?
no, they're
Smaller?
they're giving less concern for COVID than others.
Uh-huh.
But so far everybody's been healthy. So
Well, we are like, when we go in, we wear a mask, okay?
Mhm.
And then when we get to our pews, wherever we're going to sit, then we take a mask off. And also we rope off every other pew.
yeah, so you guys are doing the distancing,
Yeah.
and that's what a lot of that's what the state is asking the churches to do here as well.
Yeah, a lot of churches are doing that or doing drive up church.
Yeah,
Where they
yeah,
park in the parking
Mhm.
lot, the guy stands at the front of the parking lot with the loudspeaker.
yeah.
Now, you
Some-
know, I've done some studying in the Bible, Matt. I
I
checked.
know.
I checked on something.
Uh-huh.
Fear not. Fear not. You know how many times it's in the Bible? 365 times. That pretty well covers
365 times. Yep.
That pretty well covers every day of the year, though.
That covers every day of the year. That's right.
Do not fear.
That's right. Yep.
Yep.
Do not fear. Matt is here.
Oh goodness. I tell you what, if I show up in your time of despair, I don't know. Yeah.
But we do put too much fear in what goes on in this world.
Yeah, we do. We do. And that's something that the Lord's really been teaching me and my family this year.
Yeah.
Is that man, more than ever, we got to have an eternal perspective, because there's so much that just doesn't matter in this world.
That's
It just
exactly
doesn't matter.
too much material. Yeah. And that's the way
Yeah.
I look at it, man. I mean, don't get me wrong now. People need to be smart during this because
Yeah.
nobody wants to get sick. We had it. My whole family had it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you the truth. I wasn't worried a bit. I wasn't worried about it. I figured
Good,
I figured I'm a winner either way. You know what I'm saying?
So
Mhm.
you had it?
Yeah, I had it.
Wow.
My wife had it. I worried more about her because she just finished her chemo. I worried more about her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And because her system was down and everything. And she was really, it really took her down. I had to make her get up and eat. And I'm telling you, everything tasted horrible. I mean, but
yeah.
I figured the Lord, if the Lord's ready to take me home, then I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Well, we never worried about it. Neither one of us was afraid.
But you're
Yeah.
still here.
Yeah.
You're still
Yeah.
chugging.
It's Paul talks about that. Talked about how he'd rather be with the Father, but for the sake of the people he's ministering to, so he thought of it as a win-win as well. It'd be better for me to be with the Father, but it's good for me to be here too. And
Right.
my wife can't stand it when I talk about this type of stuff, but because I don't really fear dying at all. I mean, I can't imagine anything better than to be with my Father, but it's, I don't even know what to say about that. It seems, so many people spend so much time protecting and trying to save their life, and when in actuality, it's. I mean, Rick, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Andrew, I'm not sure where you stand on this or whatnot, but it's just like, man, I'm looking forward to that day.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to leave our families. I don't want to leave my family. And I got my grandchildren growing up. I got Caleb, got him in the business. And no, I don't. I'm not afraid of it. I look at you see. Oh shoot! Let me get my bearings right here.
Yeah, I feel
Apostle,
bad.
Apostle Paul. Look at what he went through. He was ready to go anytime. And look how
Yeah.
he was beaten and everything here. You know, and he still he didn't deter. Nobody can deter him because you know where he was being anti-Christian, murderer. You know, he knew that there was a better place to go. That's why he didn't fear nothing.
Yeah.
Why he wasn't
Yeah.
afraid.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel bad for all the old people in assisted livings because most of them are on lockdown, especially in New York.
Yeah.
And my grandmother's
Yeah.
been assisted living for almost a year. She's sick for 8 months in lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't let
Yeah. That's
anybody in or
definitely
out.
tough. And, you know,
No
I've kind of
visitors.
thought about that a little bit. I'm like, man, you know, it's like, getting in your 80s and 90s, folks in the 90s and folks that are 100, I'm like, man, I'm not sure I want to live that long,
She's 91.
that's just a
91.
long time to live. And,
Yeah.
and so, so that is a sad time right now, it's because they're not letting people see people, and, while you are here, you want to, you want to live the best life you can while you're here.
Absolutely.
But
And she was supposed to meet my cousin a few months ago after him and his wife had a baby, and they wanted to come up, bring the baby, and meet great grandma.
yeah.
You know?
I hope everybody gets to eventually they do loosen up a little bit. Although
Yeah.
I understand the risk, but I hope they do loosen up because
Yeah, I do.
it's important. It's important that we're able to be with each other no matter what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Good night, Mr. Joffrey. We're actually going to have to cut this off ourselves. But man, guys, thank you guys so much for coming on. And now that I know how to put a link in there, I hope that we can have you guys back again.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely be back.
We'll be back.
Yeah. You guys might have to help me out with some topics to talk about, though, because I don't know if I'm the best topic guy. And if you leave it up to me, we're going to talk about Jesus all day long.
Well, I'm
If you're
all
talking
right
about
with
Jesus,
that. I'm all right with that. I'm fine with that.
Awesome. So I
We
guess
need to get Rob back.
we
We need to plan on getting Rob up here.
I know, I might be able to talk him into actually just coming to the house and just having him be in the same frame with me because he stays up late on Sundays.
Okay.
Takes a nap through the day. This is what he told me. He sleeps a little bit through the day and then he wakes up and he can't, and he ends up staying up late, which is why he can handle my show. So I might be able to talk him into just coming on out to the house for one of these lives.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
convince
I'd
him.
like that. Might even be able to bring the whole family out. He's got just a delightful family, man. His daughter Abby, she's just so sweet, and his wife Haley. Yeah, great family.
I'm coming out to Oklahoma one of these days, and I want to see. I want to get.
Come.
I want to meet every one of you guys.
Just say, here, Rob.
Oh, yeah.
Lighten up the grill. Throwing some burgers on the grill. You want to come over?
That's all I got to do with him. Actually, if I offered him a frozen brew.
Just bring a beer.
All righty, guys. Thanks again. And I don't think I think we have one person viewing, and I'm not 100% sure who that is because I got a little farther down on the comments. But there we go. I bet you it's Mar. I don't know how to pronounce that. Maraka. Maybe you guys can help me. Marakech 7. So that's you. Marakech. That's it. Marakech 7. So
Yeah.
thanks for joining. And until next week, guys, I'm going to be praying for you guys. So please pray for me.
I sure will, brother.
We'll see you later.
All right. Good night, guys.
On the same
Good night.
station.